What's up, guys? Welcome back to the That's Sowdev podcast. My name is Dev. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. We have so much tea to get into today, and I'm really excited about it. Actually, I'm super excited about it. But before we get into this tea, hold on. No, because before we get into this tea, y'all, make sure you go and follow me on all social media platforms at That's Sowdev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, especially Blue Sky, because we're moving over there, child. Okay, look, I'm living my best life today, and I need everybody to know that, because one of the greatest debut albums to me in years, it's officially here. And I'm feeling all sorts of emotions because I've just been watching Flo kind of just lay out the groundwork for what they want to do in this industry over the last couple of years. And I coming out of Fifth Harmony 2018, Fifth Harmony disbanded or whatever, and we were just kind of like, you know what, whatever, this is the last girl group that I'm gonna stand. It hurt too much. Fifth Harmony hurt way too much, and it was so engulfing being a fan of Fifth Harmony, and I honestly just didn't want to do it again. I did not want to be captured by a girl group that really played on my emotions. And the thing about Fifth Harmony is it was so complex, right? Because Fifth Harmony was manufactured, and so was Little Mix, right? So these weren't necessarily groups that found each other and then wanted to create their sound from the ground up and really experiment and explore, not only with their sound sonically, but with their talents individually and as a group. Like, there's a lot of freedoms that the girl groups we've known over the last 10 years have not had, that girl groups prior did have. Because at those times, before Fifth Harmony and Little Mix came in, those girl groups were able to hone in on sounds that were true to them, and those sounds were popular in mainstream spaces, so it wasn't really this fight to have certain sounds, because the sounds that they already wanted were there. But when it came to Fifth Harmony, where you see songs like Sensitive and, all those R&B songs, I mean, sure, we've seen Everlasting Love and Deliver, but it really kind of just stops there. That's the peak of their R&B on their albums. And we just see that time and time and again, whenever they would step into these spaces, it would just be turned away, because that's not what's going to sell. So we got things like Worth It, Sledgehammer, Work From Home, where it kind of implemented those sounds into the pop structure and kind of let them bend genres instead of fully being in what resonated with them. Because let's just be honest, if they did step into that space, each one of those girls really feel that R&B soul type of vibe. That's really where they all kind of meet in the middle, and they never could because they never had the opportunity to. So when it comes to Flo, it's so interesting to me because they have everything that the girl groups wish that they had coming into this industry, and they've been allowed to do that. And it's very refreshing to see Flo really take on that space with a form of confidence that I've not seen from girl groups, because again, they haven't been allowed to have any of that. I mean, we're talking down to Fifth Harmony not being able to choose their lip shade or their makeup. I mean, you know what I mean? Especially as a black girl who has makeup artists who don't do black girls' makeup, or you know what I mean? There's just so many different things that, hindered Fifth Harmony from having the experience that I'm watching Flo have. And I think that's what made me really break out of this box of, I don't want to stand another girl group, because Fifth Harmony was just too much. There was so much that Fifth Harmony had to go through, deal with as fans, as a group, individually, like all of it combined. It's like, whoa, because the fans really picked up where the label slacked off. And oftentimes the label were like, oh, well, the fans will pick up on it, so we don't really have to necessarily do that. So they rode off the coattails of the fans pushing things. So it's interesting to also see Flo kind of have this organic growth inside their music, inside their career, everything. So, I was just thinking yesterday, actually, I was like, I was streaming all of their music before the album came out, and I couldn't help but notice the extreme difference between, like, I'm listening to songs maybe like On and On, and I'm listening to Summertime, and I'm like, oh my god, like the growth between the music, what you're talking about, how you're delivering. I'm listening to, Cardboard Box and Feature Me, and all of these songs from the beginning, and it just sounds like, and obviously this is what it is, but it sounds like they're finding their footing. They understand the talent that they have, but you just get the sense that they're trying to find their footing in the industry as a girl group, but also within themselves with the sound that they want. Because when I listen to Cardboard Box and then I go over and I listen to something like Soft, or How Does It Feel, like it's a completely different world. It's a completely different attack. It's a completely different confidence inside the music. Something that I said yesterday specifically, I was like, this album sounds like Flo is so sure of who they want to be in this industry. This album is a clear statement that, hi, we took notes. We took the time to perfect our craft. Here we are. This is what we want to say. This is how we want to present ourselves. Hello, this is Flo. And I get that from this album. And a lot of people are going to probably disagree with me. And I am a Normani stan. I've been a Normani stan since forever. This isn't a comparison, by the way, whatsoever. So don't take it that way. Because I felt like that, Dopamine gave me the most R&B-esque sound album that I wanted this year. And I mean, sometimes when I think about Dopamine, it doesn't process in my head that that's Normani's debut album, just because it's been so long. But I mean, look, it took Flo 5 years to get their debut album out. This isn't a new concept, okay? Literally, it's just not. But something about this Flo album, it blew all of the albums out of the water. I only bring up Dopamine because Dopamine sticks out to me the most out of almost anything. I think about Chloe's album too, and Chloe really served me what I wanted. I feel like between Normani and Chloe, I really got what I wanted out of R&B, but something about this Flo album is different. I have not heard a debut album like this album in so long. It puts me back in a time when I'm literally cleaning in the morning, and you know what I mean? You remember those weekends when the parents would wake you up and you come on, it's time to do some fucking spree cleaning or whatever type of cleaning that they wanted to do. I just remember just waking up early in the mornings, hearing the music blasting, and it just put me back in that time. It's such a time capsule listening to this song, but it's such a modern take on it as well, but it's not too modern. And that's what I've noticed. Like, this album, while it may be more of a modernized in a way, it's almost like they don't lean too much into making this a more modern sound, and they kind of stick into that classic R&B sound, and they hone in on it entirely. And I often do find that when people do create sounds now, they make it more modern. That classic R&B is a more modern sound because they want to create their own lane, and they want to completely separate the two and make it known that, this is what that was, this is mine now, and a different take on it. But it's not that Flo doesn't have a different take on it, is that they took up a space that was missing. The space has been missing between that classic R&B and then, the R&B that modernizes. People have been trying to modernize, I feel like, classic R&B for so many years now, that there's been such a space for people to really just sit in that area of classic R&B. And I feel like Flo entirely does that with this album. I mean, you have no choice for it to be modern. I mean, you're not back in the late 90s or early 2000s, or, you know what I mean? Like, you're not in a different time. You're here. So we've obviously progressed. So the sounds progress along with the producers. They progress the sounds. But behind the scenes with this, it's very clear. We're getting the baton. Listen to the intro. The baton is being passed to us by girl groups, SWV, Destiny's Child. Come on. Like, they hone in on that aspect of girl groups and they execute it perfectly. I mean, let's just sit here and go through these songs really quick because we have to talk about them. I mean, okay, look, intro, first of all, Cynthia, girl, Cynthia, you ate up that intro. I had no idea, and mind you, I've heard her singing, but I don't know, it just sounded so different with her narrating it. Like, she ate that. Truthfully, I love that intro. This album feels like a fucking album. It feels like a goddamn album through and fucking through. I mean, transitions, everything. This is no. Stop playing with him. Enough, ho. Okay, look. Intro, A. First of all, who told them to snap like that on AAA? Are you joking? I mean, the way that it just starts off, it's introducing you into this world. The intro song is essentially, hey, you're getting to know us individually as a group, who we want to represent in, regards to who came before us. And the intro tells you possibly everything that you would need to know in the immediate time that you're listening to this album. So if you have no idea who Flo is, that intro is going to introduce them to you. That is fantastic. That is so creative. That is so wonderful. I love that. But that going into AAA, and AAA is really the title track. It sets the tone for the album. And it does. I mean, ba-da-da-dum-bum-ba, bum-bum-ba. Like, I mean, it's just such an introduction. It's like we are coming up on the red carpet, like our car just arrived. The trumpets are raised, and we're making our grand entrance. That is the energy that I get from the song. Overall, I mean, the vocals on it. She's like, why don't we explore? I'm like, oh, God. I mean, like, it's just so, their songs are intricate. They're not basic. They're not simple. You're not going to hum this song or any of these songs, I feel like, and assume. You're not going to hear the song sonically and assume, because if you do, you're probably going to be wrong. And I just love the R&B songs that are just so intricate and continuously are ongoing. And a lot of songs, I feel like, repeat the same pattern, and it feels like they go out of their way to not do that. So look, AAA starts that off, and it's wonderful. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. Look, In My Bag, I'm not a Glow fan. I'm just going to say that outright. So the beginning of the rap, it didn't hit for me. It didn't. I'm like, okay, I'm like, oh, okay. And then when we get to the back, when that beat starts changing, it feels like Glow is more comfortable in that type of beat. So I was like, okay. I was feeling the back end of it. And I'm sure it's one of those things where, look, I'm not going to like everything, and this has absolutely nothing to do with Flo because they're not rapping on it. This is a fantastic single, especially a single that could lead to a breakout, especially because you do have Glow on it who's seeing a moment. That doesn't always work, but it is possible. So we'll see. It's looking like that video is absolutely stunning. There will be a reaction for it, most likely this weekend, if not next weekend, but I am going to try for this weekend. Girl, In My Bag, I would give that song, to me personally, it's going to be about a 9 out of 10 for me. And it was just the rap that threw me off, because I remember I was just sitting down, I had me a little Mary sparked up, I'm just, you know what I mean? You know how, like, when you're listening to those songs, like, let's say you're listening to an album, or even you got, like, a playlist on, and then it just keeps playing through and through and through, and you don't even notice that it's playing, or if it's one song, and the song keeps replaying, and you don't realize how many times that it's playing. Bitch, that definitely, yeah, that was happening to me, especially with In My Bag. But when it came to the rap, I was so disrupted in my piece that I was like, oh, wait, hold on, what? It wasn't even a moment of judgment. I wasn't anticipating it. I wasn't looking for it. I actually had a feeling that the song would be, it sounded like a song that Glow would really be able to thrive on. And I don't think she thrived at first, but I think the back end of her rap, as I said, it definitely connected with me a lot more, and I was bumping to that. So, In My Bag, 9 out of 10 for sure. Walk Like This, there's a reason that I walk like, what? Exactly. My baby be loving on. Oh yeah. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Oh yeah. Yep. More of it. Hey, come on. No. Eating that. Eating that. Eating that. Ate that. I mean, the whole plate. It was giving Thanksgiving feast, bitch. Like, I cleared the plate. I was looking at it. Like, no, come on. Absolutely. Walk like this? Yeah. Well, hell yeah. What a beautiful single. I was like, you know, look. When I first heard the song, I was so gagged because the last thing I was expecting, it was giving like a side to side T in like a totally different capacity of things. It was like, the reason why I walk like this is because my nigga be rapping my shit. You know what I mean? Like, what? Come on now. This song is so phenomenal. It's just a 10 out of 10 for me. You know, the beginning, it's so beautiful. That flow, like the way that they just harmonize that together, it's just beautiful. Walk Like This is definitely a highlight on this album. You can't say that it isn't. 10 out of 10 for me. I don't care. In the bridge, we have to talk about it. It's time to talk about it. It's time to talk about it. Look, there's a lot of bridges up in this motherfucking town, and they ate that one specifically. Like, down. I am so serious, and I can't. No, I will repeat myself on days end. Like, come on now. Like, it's just the way that their vocal ability is absolutely insane. It's so insane because they all have the same vocal abilities in different ways with different tones and textures, but when it comes together and they do things in unison, it's absolutely insane. It's so heightened. Girl, anyway, we gotta move on. Okay. So, 888, 10 out of 10. Intro, 10 out of 10. In My Bag, 9 out of 10. Walk Like This, 10 out of 10. How does it feel? Whoa. Well. Now, look, at first when the song first came on, I loved the song. I'm just going to state that. I think that How Does It Feel is an 8.5 out of 10 to me personally. When it first started, and mind you, these are just now ratings. Right after I've streamed the album at least 50 times already. But How Does It Feel, when it first started, I was just kind of like, it really had to get into the chorus and move on for me to be like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Because I feel like a lot of songs, you may not understand the structure of it until you hear it. So you have to hear the whole song and understand how the song is. And then I come back to the song and hear the song for what it is, because now I know what the layout is. Now I can process the song properly. And that's exactly what happened. A lot of things I've realized over the last couple of years, like, don't judge a book by its cover. And that's how a lot of people tend to be like, oh, well, this song hits a couple of years later. This song hits a couple months later. Like, oh, like, you know, I trash talk the song, but like, dang, it grew on me. I'm surprised. That's because you didn't have the ability at that time to fully process the song. There's 16 songs in this album. And while we may have gotten about 5 prior to the album coming out, and that's not including the intro, it's still a lot to process, especially as an overall album. So I'm just gonna flat out say, yeah, how does it feel? And I gotta say, just ironically, yes, yeah, pun intended, the softness of the song, because y'all know what's next, right? The softness of How Does It Feel, it got me. But then there's this grittiness to it that it just shuffles up my emotions, genuinely. And it just had me so baffled by the time I got to the end of the song, because by the time I processed what the song was, I was like, damn, like, who hurt y'all? I'm about to pull the fuck up. I'm so serious. Look, and pun intended, obviously, right? Soft is the next song. Soft. How does it feel? Into soft? And oh my goodness, what a blend. I almost didn't know the song changed. I almost didn't know the song fucking changed. I almost cried. It is beautiful. Soft is a beautiful song. How Does It Feel is a beautiful song in different aspects of things, and they heighten each other one after the other. And I noticed that it just keeps doing that on and on and on. How does it feel? 8.5 out of 10. Soft, I'm giving that a 9.5 out of 10. I'm gonna get back to you why that isn't a 10 out of 10. There's something going on in my brain that's not clicking. Maybe like a little bit of the song, but it's not much. It's 9.5 out of 10. That is a beautiful song. No, beautiful song. MNEK, look, I know you all over this damn album. You go crazy, and you always have. I'm not going to act like you didn't or haven't, because you have, and that's period. End of discussion. Girl, look. So Check is right after Soft, and I think that that's very disrespectful. Because, no, and I'm going to say disrespectful quite a bit over these next songs, because the way that the album progressively flows into another, it's just, oh my goodness. I honestly could not believe what I was hearing. This is a very, very well-crafted album, very detailed down. So we're going into Check after Soft, which I again, is so insane, because the way that Soft sounds sonically and the way that Check comes in, it's just like a seamless flow into one another. And Check, oh my goodness, is one of my favorite songs, and I would say that about every song that came out prior to the album. I could listen to each song on repeat about 10 times, and if you think I'm joking, I'm not. I probably will be hoarse from singing every goddamn part, vocal, background vocal, harmony, whatever you can think of. Check, it's layered all over the place. I'm talking about layers on like, bitch, it's about 25 degrees outside and the bitch got hella layers on. Hella. I mean a t-shirt with a long sleeve on top, with a sweater on top, with a light jacket on top, with a bubble jacket on top, with a hat on top, with a scarf on, with my gloves, and then another round of gloves, maybe some hand warmers. I got 2 pairs of socks. I'm about to go out in the motherfucking snow. Check is layered, bitch. I'm so for real. I cannot help it, but every time I listen to the song, I sing another layer of it, because there's so much to process in the song. I mean, like, the way that it even starts. First of all, Georgia, we gotta talk, because look, everybody's going off in their own right. Renee down, Stella down, but Georgia, you are going the fuck off on this album. She's giving me some serious moments on this album that's going to be ingrained in my mind probably for the rest of my life. Like, whoa! Like, Georgia, stop fucking playing with me! Damn! But, okay, so I think my favorite part of Check, it takes a pause, right? It's like, Check, the way I trust them, I ain't gotta, right? It's something about when that pause comes and then they go into the way I trust them, I ain't gotta check. It gives me so much, it just gives me chills. I think it's the way that they attack this song again, and I said at the beginning, with so much confidence, that I think the confidence I feel personally, and I get chills because of the execution of it. It's just so perfect. Check, the way I trust them, I ain't gotta check. Cause he gave it so good. Hey, come on, bitch. Cause he gave it so wide. No doubt. Hey, and then Stella. Wow. Girl, don't stop playing with me. Enough. This album is fantastic. Like, bitch, it's like I dropped my whole goddamn hand in like gravy from Thanksgiving, and a bitch is licking off every goddamn tip. Like, I'm like, delicioso, bitch. Come on, I ain't playing with y'all hoes. Now, look, Check, fantastic. It's got to be a 10 out of 10 for me, and this is where it gets even more disrespectful, right? Because look, Check goes into On and On, and this is where I'm ready to fight somebody, because why the fuck would they do that? And I mean that with my whole goddamn chest. Who the fuck told y'all to have Check go into On and On, and then On and On go into Bending My Rules, and Bending My Rules into Trustworthy? No, get back here. Get no! Come here! Come here! Who is responsible? Because that's ridiculous. That is the most seamless whole run of I'm talking, bitch. And mind you, I've been talking about the transition from top to bottom, right? Each song after the next, and I mean, I'm doing this on the whole album, it seems. We're at, 9 and 10, and I've been saying the transitions from each song is insane. So all of these songs have transitions into one another that makes me want to smack somebody, because who the hell did that? Phenomenal. Give them a raise. Look, let me talk about On and On. On and On is a 10 out of 10 for me. And On and On is definitely, look, I already know what my top 3 songs are, and I'm going to get into that into the podcast. But On and On is definitely one of them. On and On, that's the number 1 song that put me back in that time capsule that, I was essentially just like, whoa, like I'm waking up on Sunday mornings, spring cleaning with this song blasting in the stereo. Like, that song takes me to a different place, to a different softness. Like, if I could make any song in this album personally, it would be On and On. Like, it's just something about it, and the flows of it. Da na 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 na, da na 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 na, da na 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 na, da 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 da. Hey, na 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 na. Like, it's just that. It's that one part right there for me. We can go on and on and on and on. Like, that right there, something about that right there does it to me. The vocal choice does something to me all throughout the song. It's just phenomenal to me. 10 out of 10. On and On. I have no notes about any songs on this album. Oh my God. I'm gagged. I'm genuinely fucking gagged. I don't know the last time that I've been so gagged like this by somebody who wasn't already an established artist. Come on now. Okay, look, I gotta move on. Look. So On and On into Bending My Rules. Now, this is where I'm ready. Like, hearing that makes me want to turn into Mike Tyson. No! I'm gonna have to knock a bitch out. No! Hell no! On and On into Bending My Rules. Now look, Bending My Rules is my favorite song out of all the songs that were released prior to the album. Oh my goodness. It's so soulful, sultry. I hear every ounce of their heart in that song. Every ounce of emotion was poured into that song. And Stella starting it off with late night drinking, let them sinking home. Like, it's just the way that she starts that off with such a raspy, light tone, and it's just so phenomenal to me. It pulls at my heartstrings. Come on. And the boy I'm thinking about, boy I'm thinking about, like, just the layering of that too. And that's just the thing, the harmonies and the layering all throughout this album. 10 out of 10s. Bending My Rules. I mean, Renee, I've had enough of you. I had enough of you, but just the way that you be singing that, oh my God, that chorus, oh my goodness, especially at the end, phenomenal. And the way at the very end, no, because it's not just the harmonies. Obviously, I'm talking about the harmonies, but it's, again, I'm gonna say the execution, because the way they go, da, 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 oh, somewhere I don't want no harmonies. Like, yeah, that's how you fucking do it. Y'all better sing. Y'all are singing. I have missed singing. I have missed girl group singing. And we've obviously, come on, you can bring up Little Mix. Yeah, they sing the fuck down. But this is totally different. And I've said this before several times, because this is a group that is black. They're black. This is a black group. It's different. The culture hits different when we hear it, when we take those spiritual sounds and we incorporate it into R&B. Like, it takes us to a different dimension. Phenomenal. I don't care what anybody got to say about that. Bending My Rules. Look, Trustworthy. Yes. Trustworthy is fantastic, phenomenal. It's such a creative song, and I know it's an interlude, and I want to fight them for it being so short, but honestly, short and sweet can be very cute. Some of the best songs I know are interludes. And that's fine, because if it was probably dragged out, it probably wouldn't be as good. That's just the reality. So I love Trustworthy, and I love the creative spin on it. That is a 10 out of 10 for me. Bending My Rules, if you didn't know, it was a 10 out of 10. Caught Up, hope she don't get you caught up, What? You going out with friends? You better not be late coming in. Won't trip, but you better not get caught the fuck up. I mean, well, they talking that shit. They talking wait, no, because we have to talk about it. Because when I'm sitting here thinking about, bending my rules, you are bending my rules. I have rules, but I'm so in love with you. I haven't been in this space before that I'm allowing you to kind of push those boundaries in a sense. You know what I mean? And then we get to Trustworthy. Let your walls down. Trust me, right? You're bending my rules. I'm allowing you to push some boundaries in my life because of my walls, right? But you're essentially bringing those down with the way that I feel. And here we are with Trustworthy, right? Trust me. Trust my love. I'm not the people who came before me. I am me. See my love. See that it's trustworthy. Let your walls down. I mean, this is an entirely cohesive album. If we want to go from start to finish, I mean, Walk Like This. There's a reason that I walk like this. Well, how does it feel? You got Soft. You got Check. I trust them. We can go on and on. Now you're bending my rules. Like, we're actively just kind of watching them fall in love in these couple of songs, and then kind of, there's so many different topics, but they just kind of flow into each other about this, relationship that they're kind of getting into, and they're falling in love, and, they're having their fun walking. Look, I'm in my bag, and now I'm with my man. He welling that shit up. Come on now. Look at these songs. In My Bag, Walk Like This, How Does It Feel, Soft, Check, on and on, Bend My Rules. If you look at the topic of each of these songs, they flow into each other and they're telling a fucking story. And now look, right after Trustworthy, Caught Up, right? Right? Trust me, trust my love, let your walls down. And here we are with Caught Up. They still have that trust, because even in Check, they said, the way I trust them, I don't have to check. And now they're like, they still have that trust and Caught Up, right? You said you going out with friends. Don't be late coming in. I'm not going to trip. Just don't get caught up, right? Don't fuck up. I trust you. Go do your thing. Go have your fun. Well, and here we are. You got caught up. And then we move on to I Hate to Be My Ex. Wow. This shit's telling a story. You have to listen to the album. You have to listen. You can't skip songs that you know. Listen to the album. You're going on a journey. Generally speaking here, your emotions will be destroyed. I'm just saying. Girl, look, first of all, let's talk about Caught Up. Again, 10 out of 10 for me. That's a phenomenal song. In the way that the song flips at the end, yeah, for sure. And then going in I Would Hate to Be My Ex, which is one of my favorite songs. No. Insane. That song is insane. And the beat, are you kidding me? And coming in from Caught Up, I Would Hate to Be My Ex. You got caught up now, nigga. Well, you about to be in the motherfucking rearview mirror. You fucking around. I would hate to be my ex, because I'm gonna love me harder. And then you're gonna have to see me love me harder and glow even more after you fucked up. 10 out of 10. And then you got Nocturnal over here, right? Da, 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 Na 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 na. One thing about me, I love when things are sang in minor. It doesn't matter. I love harmonies in minor. I love chords in minor. Generally speaking, I love minor keys. So, like, when they sing this song, I wasn't expecting it. The man, the bag chased me. Like, it was so good that it kind of tapped into a different area of what I was kind of expecting. Like, the general sound, sure, but there was just some things in it that were so different that I was like, you want to know what? Yes, this is for you. This is the sound that I want to hear you do. And then they executed the hell out of that. Nocturnal is fantastic. Let's just talk about it. I'm gonna give Nocturnal a 9 out of 10. For real, a 9 out of 10 to me. And then we go to shoulda, woulda, coulda. Right? Should've ride for you, could've ride for you, would've ride for you, but your ass got caught the fuck up. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's over now. Why does that matter? Come on now. I find that to be a 10 out of 10 too. This song is a 10 out of 10. I love the whole, it's so weird. The beat is so weird. Let's talk about it. Because you can listen to the song and you can hear the beat and you'll be like, wait, what the fuck is going on? And that's what happened to me. I didn't know how to process the beat. I didn't know how to process the song. It was one of those things where it's like, you need to trust the process, right? And then as we get into the song, I'm like, oh, I see where this fits. But it still sounds off because the beat is hitting on an off beat. And it's not something that I assume, and I have to readjust my mentality and expectations. So I definitely love the song. I love that the production is just something so out there. I do believe that Renee co-produced on Nocturnal, if I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is Nocturnal. But, you know, shoulda, woulda, coulda, sure, 10 out of 10. Nocturnal, I'm going to give 9 out of 10. Get it till I'm gone. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Well, too late. You got caught up. Get it till I'm gone. You're not going to get it till I leave your ass. And then you're going to get it. And then you're going to want me back. And then you're going to realize. And then it's going to be too late. Well, just saying. I mean, that going into I'm Just a Girl, first of all, and I'm going to get to I'm Just a Girl. But Get It Till I'm Gone, it is a vital part in this story because there are several songs right here where they nod to this person no longer being a part of their lives or their significant other, but they don't actually address that they're done. You know, even at the end, I guess you got caught up. You know what I mean? I would hate to be my ex. Should've, would've, could've. It nods to it, but I feel like Get It Till I'm Gone, you're not gonna get what's wrong until I'm gone. It's almost like they're trying to get this person to see their actions, but they're not. I mean, I would hate to be my ex. You know, it's kind of like a hint. It's not saying like, well, you're gonna be my ex or we're done. And this is just my perception, right? But Get It Till I'm Gone, it tells me that they've come to this conclusion that you're not going to get it until I leave you. And this almost feels like them realizing they're going to have to dip in order for this person to get it. It feels like that's the point of processing in their minds. And when you get to I'm Just a Girl, you get to the parts where I'm just human. You know what I mean? Sure, some people probably should have said, well, you should have left way before you had to hint that, you know, I would hate to be my ex. But you are human. You do go through this shit. You do put up with people. This person was bending their rules, and they obviously took advantage of that. Listen to the album. The album is telling a story. And I genuinely think anybody who has loved somebody deeply will get the album. What a phenomenal album. Look, Get It Till I'm Gone, 10 out of 10. I'm Just a Girl, 10 out of 10. And I love the fact that it's giving rock. It's definitely giving R&B rock tease, especially with that guitar. It's giving electric. Absolutely. Boogie, woogie, woogie. Come on, ho. No, absolutely. I think that song is phenomenal. I heard it and I was acting like a fucking rock star in my room. I'm not joking. I was giving a full-on fucking concert, bitch. I could have been Lenny Kravitz for all you know. Just saying. What a wonderful album. I mean, each song, 16 songs, not a skip on the album. Each song has its own character. Each song stands on its own. I had so much fun listening to this album. I cannot believe they put together something so beautiful and magical. They put together this world that I got to engulf myself in and just almost feel anew. Genuinely. And it makes me excited for the career that they're going to have, because when I hear that this is their first impression on the world, like, what else will you have for me? If this is your debut album, where else can you go as a girl group? Because I often don't feel that girl group albums. Find me a girl group album that is entirely cohesive, seamless in transition from start to finish, with an intro that introduced all of the members and who inspired them, who they took notes from, who they're getting the baton from. Like, everything about this album was just a mwah mwah chef kiss and everything. Bitch, still licking my fingers from the gravy hoe. Like, I just couldn't have asked for anything better from Flo, and it has made me a true stan. Not up on Twitter and none of that shit. I mean, in real life. Like, I'm showing up to your concerts. I'm buying all your shit up. Like, yeah, that's where we are. It's giving a stand back in 2006. Trust. It's not giving that online shit. We're done with that. This is real life fucking support. I'm showing up for them. I hope you show up for them, and I hope you stream this album and continue to. Because Flo is the girl group that I've needed, that I've missed, that I've been waiting for. I've gotten teases of it through each girl group, because each girl group will go through a phase where they have, songs of these natures, but it's just them kind of stepping into it. And maybe one song in an album full of pop, one or two maybe. So again, I'm obsessed with Flo. I love them. Please stream their album, their debut album. It's out. I'm proud of them, and I'm gonna go back and stream this album for myself. Love that for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this podcast. This is really all I have to say. I wanted to review and discuss this album with you guys because, whoa, how amazing is this album? I'll say it a billion times. Anyway, okay, I'm going to get off here. Y'all know we've been talking for about 45 minutes now, bitch, and I like to keep my podcast for 30 minutes or under unless we have a good conversation, and this definitely was a good one. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the That's Sowdev podcast, where you stay true and you stay you, boo. Make sure you go ahead and follow me on all social media platforms at That's Sowdev on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and literally everything else, including YouTube. If you're streaming over there, make sure you like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next podcast. Peace.